Oh boy. The geopolitical situation between our greatest ally in the United States is getting a little bit complicated. As that situation and scenario is only getting now more convoluted with what looks like an orchestrated, organized campaign in order to try to take out and destroy the reputation and career of Tucker Carlson, who has been one of the biggest outspoken critics of this Trump administration's policies towards our, quote, greatest ally that truly are coming to a head when it comes to the arguments, the foreign policy, the domestic policy, and the very weird situation that the MAGA right finds itself in, as a lot of people are talking about how they're just fighting each other now, as they have become the party that is in charge, that has all the power, that has all the authority, that has a lot of the branches of government. And yet this one key core issue is dividing its movement at the seams, and in my opinion, also preventing bigger progress from being made here. All of this is there's another flotilla headed into Gaza, as it looks like Israeli police vessels will once again stop them from being able to go into Gaza. Some people are saying, let them go in. We're going to do our best to try to cover this issue from an honest type of perspective. I know a lot of people are either extremely fervently for genocide, right? Or they're extremely fervent for hating an entire group of people. We don't play that. We try to talk about these stories as honestly as we can. And if you appreciate that, subscribe, click the notification button. We greatly appreciate all the time that, of course, you spend with us. Now, a lot of this controversy started as not so long ago, Tucker Carlson released an interview, and he played one of the shorts here saying, Mark Levin's stepson got this guy fired, ... What? As he interviewed Shepard Gorishi, I'm probably mispronouncing that, to be quite honest with you. He used to work at the State Department representing the kind of PR press spokesperson for the State Department's Middle East policy. Now, allegedly, he got fired because Mark Levin's stepson wasn't happy because he, quote, allegedly wouldn't repeat Israeli talking points. Is that exactly what happened here? Well, the two talked about a lot about foreign policy, a lot about Hamas, bin Laden. One of the most interesting parts was their criticism of Mike Huckabee, who, quote, endorsed a Dresden-like bombing of Gaza. Yeah, there have been a lot of crazy, fervent radicals on the right that have literally been saying, yeah, nuke the whole place. Yes, women and children, doesn't matter. Take them all out. Babies, those babies are going to be, and I'm like, dude, yo, show some humanity here. Whether you are agreeing with the Israeli government or not, we have to understand there should be a lot of nuance here. And there are, and this is what's kind of missing from the conversation on the internet and from the corporate media, in my opinion. There are a lot of voices that are Israeli that don't like this government, that don't like the Israeli government, that are protesting the Israeli government. As a lot of people believe, Bibi Netanyahu's days are numbered as soon as these wars are over. And this is why he's incentivized to continue and escalate these wars, as MTG has some unique criticisms of this as well here. All of this as, of course, we are getting closer and closer towards a full-on invasion, occupation, and displacement of the people of Gaza to be sent all around the world in order to create Gaza Largo. And most importantly, a new alternative, Suez Canal 2.0, that goes right through the middle of Gaza, that's going to be very convenient for the Israeli states to have. Also, Jared Kushner is talking about all the amazing beachfront property that they're going to be getting there, as now there's one specific instance that a lot of these kind of very fervent, very radicalized right-wing Israeli type of voices are now playing up on with Tucker Carlson in order to attack him. And that's this video where he talked about sharing condolences with Osama bin Laden. Now, I think the full clip in context, because I actually watched like you got to watch like the full 10 minutes of like what happened before, what happened after. They talk about why this guy was fired. There were some journalists that lost their life. This press person sent down condolences for their family members, and that's just a common routine occurrence that happens. So Tucker decided to take it a step further, be like, okay, these press journalists that lost their lives, giving their family condolences, that's what you got fired for? It's a little ridiculous. I'm going to take it a little bit more ridiculous, and as the person that he is, he definitely likes to step it up a notch, right? And when he steps it up a notch, he isn't playing around. And that's what a lot of people believe he was trying to do here. I'm not trying to excuse his behavior, but this is what started this big controversy right now.
Let me just say, I would be totally comfortable sharing condolences with Osama bin Laden's family. I hate Osama bin Laden. On the other hand, if somebody dies, it's okay to say, I'm sorry to his family that
he had a toddler.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's immaterial. I would say that to the family of an executed murderer in a prison. It doesn't mean I support the murder or the murderer, but this is family. Like, that's okay. That's called like human decency. And anyone who's against that.
Yeah. And it seemed that we're setting up this.
Yeah, and that's the big controversy. Now, before talking about this, and a lot of very interesting reactions here from all of this. But right now, Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin, and Laura Loomer, they are freaking out, as well as Ted Cruz, freaking out and using this as an opportunity, trying to destroy Tucker Carlson. Will it work? What are their main kind of accusations? Is it all just kind of nonsensical, hyperbolic, insane kind of dribble? We'll get into that in a little bit. But before we do, we wanted to tell you about wearechange.shop. We got a lot of really amazing supplements. One of my favorite ones is creatine. I take it every day. I like to cycle on and off, so sometimes I don't actually take it every day. I usually like to take the weekends off. Some people don't recommend doing that. Some people recommend doing that. That's just me. What you do with your own body should be your own personal choice and decision. But creatine isn't just good for your muscles. I hit the gym yesterday. I did leg day right before the gym was closing. I was like, screw it. It's a Saturday. I'm going to do it. You know why? Because sometimes you got to make those hard decisions. And that's when I'm going to take a little bit extra creatine today because I am sore. Like leg days. I've been neglecting leg days for like 15 years. Okay, I made poor decisions. The last 2 years, I started actually working out my legs, and that's how you get. That's the secret. That's the secret for abs. Anyway, I digress. Creatine. This is according to Good Neuroscience on Instagram. Says creatine fuels your brain like it fuels your muscles. It's the only supplement proven to boost brain cell energy, helping you think faster, focus better, and stay sharper under stress. That's why I really love this. Your brain uses large amounts of energy for thinking, decision-making, and memory. That energy is stored and delivered using a molecule called ADP. Creatine increases your brain's ability to produce ADP. This provides more cellular energy for demanding mental tasks. And he goes on talking about the double-blind studies with creatine that significantly improve people's performance, memory, and intelligence tasks. That's why I really like it, especially under cognitive stress. Especially if you're sleep deprived, if you're not getting good sleep, creatine is so good for you. And he goes on and on and on and on. I'll let you guys go check him out. You want to support us and yourself? Get some creatine. We got a 2-month supply from Germany. We only have 216 bottles left. They go fast. And I really, really, really do enjoy it. I think you will too. Next level type of stuff here. Again, your brain's everything. A lot of people are losing their brain. Huh? A lot of people are like, we're good. I'm like, stop it. Stop it. Take some creatine. Get some good sleep. Go work out. Go to the gym. Like, take care of yourself. Goodness gracious. All right, now, let's get back to this freak out. Oh, no. You know, personally, I find it a little bit more disgusting to have somebody call for the Dresden-like bombing of a territory than I do someone saying, I wish to give condolences to bad people, even though I don't endorse bad people. Condolences to bad people's families, sorry. Now, the family, a lot of the times, they're not responsible. Sometimes they are. Sometimes they aren't. But if we're going to be mad about the Bush family and people showing condolences, what about the Bushes and the Bin Laden family that did so much business with our boostal oil? Are we gonna cancel Bush? Because listen, Tucker here is like hypothetically saying, I give condolences to the Bin Laden family. Hypothetically, I don't like Bin Laden. I don't endorse him. I don't support him. hypothetically, I give condolences to him. Okay? The Bushes are giving him money! They're giving him money! If we're going to have right-wing outrage, hold on. Let's talk about the airlift of evil here, buddy. All right? Let's talk about how the Pakistani ISI, with Joe Biden, meeting with them, aided and abetted a lot of the Pakistani intelligence that was a part of this. Saudi Arabian intelligence was a part of this. The other countries' intelligence was a part of this. Now, is this a reason to get pissed off? No. I mean, Tucker Carlson literally interviewed the guy that allegedly took out bin Laden. That whole story, has been changed multiple times. It's a very weird story that just doesn't add up in my own personal opinion. Now, here comes the outrage mediate. Tucker Carlson says he'd apologize to bin Laden's family and gets skewered for it. Did he get skewered? No, I don't know. I mean, is it something I would say? No. I think he said it because he knew he would have an effect on it. I don't personally think much of the comment. I don't think it's a comment, okay? People are literally like taking other people's lives, stealing their property, ruining their lives for thoughts. There's so much more important things to be outraged about, to be clutching your pearls on, like, oh, no, he said something to hurt my feelings. Grow up. Grow up. It's, you don't have to agree with what he's saying. But everyone's responding, oh, this is so sad. Oh no. And again, Max Abrams, Laura Loomer. Okay, so I'll be taking apologies all night from people who told me I was wrong when I called Tucker Carlson a mouthpiece for Islamic terrorists. I don't think he's a mouth. He literally said, I don't like bin Laden. I don't agree with what he did. Again, but this type of like outrage, this type of like anger, like all of this is just ridiculous in my opinion. Right? That's just my personal opinion. Daily Beast. MAGA brands Tucker Carlson a terrorist sympathizer. Again, like this is an effort to try to silence one of the few type of independent, mainstream type of voices out there that makes the biggest impact when it comes to a lot of this stuff. There's a reason Bibi said specifically, we have to fight disinformation. What he meant by disinformation, when Bibi said we're losing the PR war, he's losing it to people like Tucker Carlson. And again, Laura Loomer. Tucker Carlson just said he'll be comfortable sending condolences to Osama bin Laden's family, and even claimed he isn't sure if Hamas is even a real jihadi organization. That other comment may be a little bit more questionable, sure. He made these comments on the podcast just days before 9/11. A lot of questions still remaining around that, in my own personal opinion. And he's like, he's pushing pro-Iran. Oh, he's an Iranian. I exposed these people. And she calls the person that he interviewed, what'd she say? Here.
I've been talking about and reporting on this show for a long time now. People like Tucker Carlson, right, who was revered as a so-called conservative leader. I mean, I don't know. I've never really liked the guy. I honestly just think he's so overrated. He is now, and I've been telling people.
Overrated? I mean, he was the #1 newscaster on all of broadcast television until Fox News decided to shoot themselves in the foot and literally stop themselves from having the #1 news show in the world. All right, number one. Overrated? Are you kidding me?
People who watch my show for a long time now that Tucker Carlson is a mouthpiece for Islamists. Tucker Carlson.
Okay, now that right there, non-factual, like hyperbolic, insane statement. That just the guy's super rich, right? Fox News is still paying him out tens of millions of dollars, right? You're telling me the guy getting paid tens of millions of dollars, who risked it all, who Fox News told multiple times to shut up, and he refused to shut up about key, critical, important issues, the one that we're giving him tens of dollars. The guy owns. Listen, The guy's extremely well off. His family was extremely well off. You're telling me that he's now going to betray his country, take a paycheck from Islamists? Are you kidding me? He's going to risk it all for money? For Islamists? That's not what's driving Tucker here, okay? What's driving Tucker, and I've talked to him a little bit, not that much. We had one private dinner together. What's driving him, in my own personal opinion, from having conversations with him, is him understanding that during the Bush years, when he was a part of the corporate media, he sold the American people some of the most vicious, horrible, atrocious lies that have led to tremendous amounts of human suffering that he feels personally responsible for and guilty of. He doesn't want to make sure America repeats those same steps. And therefore, he's willing to interview a lot of controversial people. He's willing to say a lot of controversial things. And these efforts to try to counsel him are pretty clear, as they're overtly disingenuous, in my opinion. I'm sorry, you can't say he's Islamist. He's taking paychecks from Islam. The guy spiritually believes in Jesus and Christianity, right? He talked about literally being attacked by a demon, right? Like clawing him, scratching him in the middle of the night, right?
Is a mouthpiece for Muslims, all right?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, but that's an awful take that isn't in fact. Just because he says things that you don't like, that you have cognitive dissonance on, doesn't mean you automatically can label him, oh, he's a Muslim. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Let's just be honest with ourselves.
And Tucker Carlson, in his last episode, literally said that he would be okay with sending condolences to Osama bin Laden's family. I mean, we are about to see the 24-year anniversary of the 9/11 Islamic terrorist attacks, and Tucker Carlson is now talking about how he wants to send condolences to Osama bin Laden's family.
Facts don't care about your feelings, but that's an extrapolation. Ted Cruz here. Tucker Carlson said he'd apologize to Osama bin Laden's family. What the hell? Mark Levin. Even Mediaite, a Carlson promoter, stunned by the declaration. What? The responses here. As a lot of people are still mad about that Tucker Carlson interview. And again, Tucker Carlson had a very contentious interview with Ted Cruz, where they kind of went after each other. And again, there was some people say the responses are cooked here. Some people, they have a lot of interesting things to say here, as a lot of people responded to some of the people being outraged here, being like, Trump literally shook hands with a jihadi, right? Listen, our foreign policy with Syria, not that good, especially for Christians and Alawites, okay? All right? And we paid for that. I think that's a little bit more outrageous. I think it's a little bit outrageous that we financed and funded Al-Qaeda and Al-Nusra and ISIS and all these other radical Islamic and all these other Mujahideen, all these other people. That to me is offensive. You stealing my tax dollars, you stole a lot of them, right? And you made up all these fees and penalties and all these things. You took a lot of my money, all of it last year, all of it, left penniless, in debt. Tremendous amounts of stress. And you took that money and you gave it to radical jihadis. Maybe not last year, but throughout all the years. Since the 1980s, the U.S. government has been financing and radicalizing and making foreign policy decisions that radicalize, and also arming and funding the radicalized people. That's what I'm angry about. How about we get some justice about that? Now, again, some people are just angry about Tucker Carlson. You're going to be angry. You're going to look at anything to kind of attack him, anything to kind of hit him on here. Now, Laura Loomer is going after Buckley Carlson, who is Tucker Carlson's son, who is working at the White House. And she's saying, why does Tucker Carlson's son work at the White House while his dad pushes propaganda for, quote, Islamic terrorists? I don't think his dad's pushing. What are you talking about? I think about this a lot. And she, of course, is trying to get him fired. She says, I truly believe Buckley Carlson is going to play a role in creating some type of scandal for the Trump administration. And again, she's just putting maximum pressure in order to have Tucker Carlson's son fired from the White House. And Alexander Shepard says, why punish the kid for what his father's doing? ? Which is a good question, right? As Tucker Carlson here is openly talking about respect for everyone's families, even if you disagree with some of the people. All right. And then she's taking it to the extreme position. And she says, because protecting President Trump is a lot more important than Tucker Carlson and Tucker's family. What do you mean protecting? What do you mean? Like, Tucker and Tucker's son are two different people, right? Just because someone's father does something doesn't mean the son is supposed to be held responsible for it. That, to me, is not a fair kind of equation. Not everyone is equal. I wish we could stop pretending like everyone is equally important. Okay. A lot of people are responding here in many different times, but a lot of people are saying, integrity matters here. And it definitely, and again, my goodness. The responses here are pretty self-evident here. Ted Cruz also said, is also attacking Tucker on his other kind of comments about Hamas. I disagreed with Tucker on his comments from Hamas. Ben Shapiro is really pissed off about Tim Dillon. That's really fascinating. And Ben Shapiro went on the Mark Levin show, had some interesting things to say about it, as other people are arguing these are the guys that are actually doing the most damage for the Israeli people. And the Israeli people aren't happy with, as we've seen, many of them demonstrate with their own government. I think that's the type of nuanced voice. I think, listen, this situation is so hyperbolic, so emotional. Can we not make it more emotional? I wish we lived in a world where we just took care of ourselves and weren't freaking out and going crazy and dividing ourselves and ripping each other to shreds over a foreign government. I wish we could say, listen, let's just focus on America. If you agree, share this video. I think it's more important than ever to have that type of conversation. I think it's more important to get our heads straight. That's why I sell creatine. I really love this stuff. I think you will too. WeAreChange.shop. Stay tuned for more. All here exclusively on youtube.com/WeAreChange. Beautiful and amazing human beings.